There he goes. And there she goes. Okay, we're here at Carillon Park, finally doing our review of the little Retrol steam engine from Streetlight Kit. I built this several months ago at this point, and trying to get my stuff together to be able to do this video. It took me some time, but we're here at Carillon Park, which was always my goal here to hopefully do this right outside the Corlis engine building, which is a giant steam engine that was moved here. We'll talk more about that a little bit here later, but we'll just kind of wait for this boiler to heat up, and I'll point out some of the parts here. We'll make sure that we can see everything we need to see there. I believe so. So we're looking at here, this is our boiler, which is getting warm, but not quite there yet. We got our flywheel that stores the energy. You'll see a much larger version of this in a moment. And what I hope that we can see the best, which I might have to move the camera a little bit, or the engine a little bit, I want you to be able to see the centrifugal ball governor, because they are just really cool objects. That is this guy right here. And that guy will start spinning. As it spins, the balls lift up. As the balls lift up, they actually push down on a valve that controls how much steam is actually going into the system. So in theory, with this is such a small engine, it has a hard time doing it, but in theory, it can control the engine speed perfectly, giving it just enough steam to keep going at full speed, or to lighten it up if it's going a little overboard. And here we've got a piston action there, which I'll give it a little tap when we're ready to open the steam valve to give it a little bit of help. The big steam engines in real life, they also had to have, if they were from a dead stop, they also would need a little help. And usually a giant pry bar, and several guys on said pry bar to get that big, old, heavy flywheel moving again, especially if they accidentally stopped it at top dead center. They would have a really hard time getting the engine started again. Fortunately, that's not going to be a problem for us. All I have to do is use my finger, and we're good to go. And so it takes a few minutes for the boiler to heat up to the proper temp. I am going to give it a little bit of a boost with a torch here in a few moments. This kit also happened to come with a little baby generator and a little street light that could be lit up with it. I have never been able to get the steam engine to go fast enough to make it work. So as far as that part goes for this kit, I would say that's a little bit of a thumbs down. I can get it to work if I hook it up to a battery drill. That spins it up fast enough. I did notice Streetlight Kit's video on it, though. What it does is you can't see the side of the boiler very well, because I can guarantee you that they've got a torch pointed at that boiler, because the alcohol burner just isn't enough to get that sucker moving fast enough, unfortunately. But so that's the one thing I can't show you, which I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. But it gives you a a view of that part of the kit. And we're in the Corlis engine building. And this is Steve. He is one of the curators here, and he's going to tell us a little more about the park and a little more about this engine here. And all right, so let's get to it. So what is Carillon Park, Steve?
Carillon Park is a 65-acre open-air historic museum. It opened in 1950, so next year is our 75th anniversary. And it's so it's kind of like if you ever been to Greenfield Village up in Dearborn, Michigan. It's similar to that, where we have a lot of historic buildings and that house exhibits, and you just walk around and outside and go into the buildings as you walk. And the museum really kind of highlights a lot of the significance of Dayton to state, national, world history. And really talks a lot about industry, the industries that were here in Dayton that really kind of made its kind of a player worldwide. And of course, the most significant aspect of our park is the Wright Brothers National Museum here. And it is part of the National Park Service, even though it's owned by Carillon Park. It's part of the Park Service. And so the kind of the highlight of that building is the original 1905 Wright Flyer 3, the world's first practical airplane. that we have in that building, and actually Orville himself helped restore the plane for the museum here. He was working on it just shortly before his death in 1948.
Wow.
And then the whole museum itself is kind of known worldwide as kind of the only place you can go to see the most original Wright brothers and Wright family artifacts anywhere. I mean, museum really in the world, even the Smithsonian and all that. You can't see that much what we have here. So yeah, so it's a pretty neat museum.
All right, awesome. And I think we essentially talked about how long it's been here. Almost 75 years, you said.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. And is the park open year round, or is it seasonal?
We're open year round,
Okay.
except for we're closed only 5 days out of the year. We're closed Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Otherwise, we're open year round, barring, of course, weather.
Sure. Yeah, right on. Okay. All right. And so we're here to look at the Corlis steam engine. When did it come to the park?
It came to the park in 1948.
Wow.
It moved here probably, it's not clear if they moved it all at once or maybe, over the course of time. But it was finally turned off in 1948 when they had newer generators installed there, and then they moved it to the park. And so then they kind of had everything laid out here. They put the engine and then built the building around it.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. And yeah, what was involved with bringing the Corlis to the campus here?
Well, we have some photographs of them actually moving it, and they didn't move it all at once. They did it in pieces and parts, but they just put it on flatbed trucks and trucked it over.
Okay.
It's probably only like a half mile from the NCR factory to here. And then, like I said, they just laid the foundation of the building on, rebuilt the engine on it, and built the rest of the building around.
Probably a heck of a foundation under this thing.
Yes.
Because it's some serious weight. Okay, gotcha. So I think we covered it when it last ran there too. Okay, gotcha. And do you think this one could still be operational if it had to be?
Don't know.
Not sure? Okay,
Probably not.
Fair answer.
Hasn't probably run since they turned it off in 1948. In fact, I could guarantee it. So I probably could get it to working again, but it would probably need a lot of TLC to get to that point.
It has an awful lot of nice paint on it that wouldn't be too nice for very long, probably. Okay. And then, do you know how heavy the flywheel is?
So the whole machine is 210 tons. The flywheel is 20 feet in diameter, and it's 38 tons.
Wow, that's some serious
oh,
rotational energy there. Amazing. Okay, gotcha. And do you know what this was used for? Was this electricity, or what all did they use?
So NCR had 2 of them, and so this is Corlis engine number 2. The first, just a little kind of side note, the first Corlis engine, they were both taken out of service at the same time in '48. And the first Corlis engine, they dismantled it and probably recycled a lot of the parts of it, except for the governor and the control wheel valve here. They turned on those into tables for the chairman of NCR at the time, Colonel Edward Deeds.
Okay.
And Deeds, he was the plant manager of NCR back in the early 1900s when these things were first brought in. So this one was brought into NCR in 1901. And he, as a plant manager, turned the thing on to get it running. And then 47 years later, when he was the chairman and president of NCR, he turned it off for the final time, turned that valve off.
Okay.
But so there's 2 of them, and each generated 800 kilowatts of electricity.
Okay.
So their primary purpose was providing power for the whole NCR factory complex, which is about 30 buildings.
Okay.
And then their exhaust steam was then used to heat those buildings. So it's used for heat and electricity, but its main purpose was for electricity.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Would you be able to stand over by the flywheel so we can get an idea of how the size of this sucker is here? All right. We're going behind the scenes here, people.
So this is the main control valve.
Okay.
To get everything running.
Right. Yeah, I would remember when I was a kid, we would come, this is one of my favorite buildings to come into just because of the size of this machine. It is just outstanding. And we'll give you a little bit of a look here. as the
Yeah, and
camera
after
allows.
the 1913 flood, the two Corlis engines were also used to help provide electricity to downtown Dayton
Oh, okay.
for a period.
Wow.
But of course, later on, they got much more efficient, smaller
Sure.
steam turbine engines that could produce a lot more electricity.
Yeah, once the steam turbine came out, that put the end to a lot of these Corlis type engines.
Right.
But before that, the Corlis was one of the most efficient engines out there, and they're very durable. There's actually, I got most of my information from Wikipedia, but you can go to Wikipedia, and they actually have a whole list of still running Corlis engines. I think there's a museum out in England actually that has a number of them, which would be kind of cool to see. Mm-hmm. This is the life-size ball governor there, or centrifugal ball governor. Yeah, so those guys, as they spin real fast, they lift the balls up, and then they activate those actuator arms to open and close valves there lower, in the system here. Well, yeah, we'll give you a little look around here. I know I should have bought that wide angle lens. Steve, I really appreciate your time, sir.
Sure.
There's another ball governor up there.
One of our plans is to eventually have some way of being able to walk around it. We're just
safety-wise,
I don't know where that is in the whole
Yeah.
planning process or not.
Yeah.
Well, we also kind of considered the possibility of putting it back into motion, but I don't
That
know
would be
where
cool.
I don't know where that's landed, so no promises there at all.
That would take some doing. Well, look at the steam valves here. I think those are kind of cool. Yeah, up to 200 bar there. That's crazy.
Cash register.
Right. Exhaust pressure. All right. Well, that is really awesome. Yeah, so the Corlis steam engine was patented in 1849. George Corlis, that's his name on it, but he wasn't the first one to actually do stuff with this engine. He's mostly known for a set of valves, the Corlis valves, as a part of the engine and part of that patent there. And it just made the engine way more efficient. The steam and the exhaust came in different areas, so you didn't have a bunch of temperature changes that you would have on other engines before that time. So it just was, I think, 30 or 40% more efficient than what your other steam engines were. So it's pretty, that's what made it so awesome. And well, that's our field trip for the day. I hope you all enjoyed it. We definitely got a boiler boiling. Now we just got to get the steam engine. It's a balance between how much water you have in the boiler, how much valve is open for the boiler, and of course how much heat. Okay, that sounds promising. There it goes. And there she goes. It's a cool day, so it's some of that energy is being used up just by trying to keep the boiler warm on a cool day. It's not crazy cold out; it's in the 50s, but my little torch here is definitely giving us a lot of help. And of course, this might stop it, but we'll. Let's give it. We'll get it going again one more time here. We're going to shut the valve off for a minute. That's how we used to get power back in the old days. One thing neat that the steam engine allowed us to do is allowed us to move production away from streams and rivers and lakes and stuff, because we had another way of making things go instead of having to use a water wheel. Yeah, it's flying along pretty good now. Thank you for watching another episode of Stallone's Reviews. Our mission is to help you decide what to love making next. Today we are reviewing the Retrol steam engine from Stirling, as well as the accessory kit, which included the street lamp and generator. We definitely recommend this kit. It's packed with science fun and was a joy to put together. A big thank you to all who have subscribed to our channel. Please hit that like button, subscribe to Stallone's Reviews. We're trying to reach 300 subscribers by the end of December, with 45 more to go. Help me, help me. On Stallone's Reviews rock scale of hardness, of 1 being easy and 10 being rock hard, we give this kit a 6, as construction is pretty straightforward, but getting the engine running is tricky. I will do a separate video on how to operate your Retrol steam engine. The instructions for assembly were easy to follow, though I did have a little trial and error because the pictures aren't as descriptive as they could be. The assembly took about 2 hours if you include a Streetlight Kit. You will need a small toolkit in it to aid in assembly. I will include a link in the description for a nice kit on Amazon. Looking at what we liked, what's not to like? The parts were all premium brass and aluminum. Assembly was fun and interesting, giving you the chance to handle, examine, and study parts that would usually weigh tons. I liked that the kit immediately brought to mind the Corlis steam engine at Carillon Park, so that I could share that wonderful machine with you. The kit takes you back and teaches you about how we got our energy so many decades ago. What could use some improvement? More detail needs to be provided on how to operate the engine. A nice video would be helpful, and one is on the way from Stallone's Reviews. My only real disappointment involved the Streetlight Kit. The engine just can't spin fast enough with the small alcohol burner supplied with the kit, at least in my experience. It's not a cheap add-on either, and I wouldn't recommend bothering with it. To get the engine going fast enough, you will need a blowtorch pointed at the boiler. Can a beginner do and enjoy this kit? I was a beginner in many ways, and I really enjoyed the kit, but it was not easy learning how to operate the engine, and I think that could be a source of frustration for the beginner. Would we do it again? If we could get a boatload of Patreon supporters. Currently I only have one. I would love to do kits like this, but this kit was just under $300 for the engine and the Streetlight Kit. That's not the kind of money I have lying around to do kits like this very often. Did you build a model from Stirling Kit? Which one? Tell us about it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to Sarah Latest videos. I hope this review helped you decide if you want to make one of your own Retrol steam engines. If you're in a position to support us on Patreon, please click the link in our description. We have a camera that needs to be replaced for $3 a month. You get ad-free access to our videos. That $3 can help you decide what to love making next. There we go. All right. Yes. There we go. I got it right this time. And nothing seems like it's damaged, so that's good. And then this little guy is going to go through there once I get a little lever thing on there. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right. So this is going to go on to there to there. Transfer that energy. Oh, that's right, counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. Alright. Feels like that's going to need some Loctite. I should wonder now. There's supposed to be another little pin. Oh, right here. It's got a little flat space right in the top there. Okay. Good. That goes there. Yeah, seems to work. Yeah, sweet. Okay. That a little tighter. Counterclockwise, dude. And let's see. There. Did it again. I'd rather start with it too loose than over tighten and strip it. Threads. Okay, that's step 8. Okay. Step 9. Nope. I'm not sure if I'm missing a screw. Oh, we got all kinds of, well, remember this is, remember that's this. This guy. Oh, I think the other one's already in. Okay. Yeah, okay, sweet. It's already in, which means I probably have to take it out. Okay. Okay. This might be a little tricky. Let's see where it's going to go here. It's going to go directly across from this guy in this fashion, I think. Yes. It's going to be tricky to keep these. There's a screw or a spring there, and then 2 little brass, I guess, keepers for the spring. Looks like we successfully did it. Awesome. And then one of these little guys to fasten this side. Let's see here. It seems to suggest that maybe we should have installed the little rubber piece beforehand, but we gotta figure out which one is which. We'll just tighten this up for the short run, and we'll figure that out. Okay. Alright. 8 parts. O-ring belt is number 8. Short. Which belt? They all the same, it just looks like they're not. Looks like that's the case. Oh. Silicone. Interesting. Well, they're definitely not the same size. Not by any stretch. 2 might be the same size. What we got here? Two others. Oh, this is one. It is the same size. So we'll give you maybe 2 bigger belts, 2 mediums, and a small. Let's try this. That's too loose to me, but okay. I gotta make sure nothing's rubbing here in a second. Before it's too late to do anything about it. All right. There we go. definitely. All right. Good. Oh. That's why that slid that way. So, okay. Okay, that should keep it rubbing. Okay. It seems like it turns it without slipping. Okay. Now, find plates here. It's going to be on this side. This up, this towards the gap. Okay. And then we need two of these guys. One of these. Okay. That's fine. Just let it sit there. I think I have a better idea how to do this on the second. This works for this one. Again, swap it out. Speaking of, let's tighten these down real quick. Okay. Now. Let's see what we're doing here. So this one's going to go here, like this. Yeah, something like that. Then these. Sorry, I put my tool back before I lose it. Okay. Now, what about that one, I guess? Okay. So, flywheel side goes this side. And this goes on this side. Okay. And then, another one. These, but now we gotta do it. Those on the inside. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna do it this way first. So this kind of lines it up here for us. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now push this in, get it to click in. These, oops, looks like I got that upside down. Okay, there, yeah, this one's upside down. There we go. Nope, I got the other thing upside down. Paying attention? Not my forte. In magic of editing, you will never know how dumb I was. Okay. Glad to cheat it. I definitely would have done it upside down. Oh, Sterling Kit, so far you are pretty damn sterling, I have to say. Okay. I think I got it. It was tricky. this one. Loosen this one up. Okay. There we go. There we are. Okay. Oh, let's tighten it up now. It's not flipping around here. There we go. Okay. Okay. That's so far. Number 12. We got most of this kit installed. As far as the big parts go, here's the boiler. That's pretty bad. This has got a little glass plate in front of it. It's heavy. Got a little whistle on top. A little valve, I guess, here, probably. Alright. So this is supposed to go this way, coming out towards this guy, with this little tube going in there. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Ah, there we go. There we go. Yes, it was tricky. So tricky. Okay. Double check here. We're looking at that. We're looking at that. That looks to be all good. Get these little straps here. Sharp edges, I'll tell you that. Little straps. They're going to go on the boiler. Let's see here. Yep, and just put some more of these little guys here. Alright. Ones that might be the take two. See. Alright, come off there. Come on. Put this little valve that's got to be set there first. There we go. So they gave you a little thumb hole there, or that'd be impossible. Alright, now retrieve the 2 screws I lost. I think we're done with the screws already. Wow. It's good. The battery's almost dead on this camera. Okay. One more to go. We'll tighten the bottom up too. Oh, there we go. Ready? Well, felt like it was in there, but maybe not. No, there's not. That feels more encouraging. Yes. That one's tight. Tighten your bottoms here. Okay, there you go. I wish it was on that camera, but tried. Okay, now there is a tube that goes from here to here. Tube. Okay. All right, that's 14. Things moving still. All right. 36, which is here. Good. And 8 by 2. These little fellers over here. One, two, and then 37, 37. Down here. And get this, and I think we're done after I fire. Oh, there we go. Okay, you just go here. Actually, it's kind of going the other way here. Here, here, And then yeah, this is on handle side. Not on camera anyway. Ooh, that is going to be tricky. Got one. Okay, now we have to measure on this side. It's going to slide in right there. Oh, looks like pretty good there. Okay. Well, I think we got her together. Let's pop you off. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to finish up the lighting kit portion of this Retrol steam engine build. Melissa got an attachment ready for us, so let's save some time. There we go. Here's the little lamp post pieces, instructions. We got some belts. We got the little lamp post cross piece. Be careful with some of this stuff, so it's a little bit teensy. We'll just pop the generator up on the bottom. Has some wiring needs to be done here for us. And in the instruction book, we've got the wiring diagram, so that should be easy enough. And yeah, there we go. That's all that. Let's see here. So first thing we need to do is feed the wires through this little tube. We'll do that here right now. I've already stripped the wire back for us, which is very, very convenient. This is one of my lower hits on YouTube, which is a shame because this is one of my favorite things I've ever done on this channel. I'll try to make it quick for you though, because I know you've got a million or billion more other videos you could be watching besides mine. So I really appreciate you watching Stolen's reviews and all the things we do here. All right, so that's part A done. The cross piece, you just have these little guys that spin here, and they help stabilize it and screw it into place so that way it doesn't drift down on you. Okay. Let's see here. Put that over there. There we go. Okay. I wish there was a set screw on this base so you could just lock this in place, because otherwise it's just going to want to kind of drift out there, but let's see here. Alright, so we got that. I assume that red goes to red and blue goes to blue there, but we'll check real quick just to make sure we're not doing something crazy. Nope, that's the case. Very smart way to wire it. Okay, here. So, let's see if we need to turn the wire back. We'll check here in a minute. Let's just see how long they kept theirs. Oh, pretty long. Okay. Alright, that's all locked in, ready to go. Okay, let's see here. Let's put this little globe in, or whatever you want to call it, for the lights. It's not going to want to stay real easily there. Alright. Oh, I see. I don't have it quite. This is definitely a little tricky. Getting it right where we need it to sit into the base here. Alright, so that's got it all in there, I believe. And, yeah, just popped right back out. Might have to, that's good. The idea, maybe lightly score it so that it bends a little better. Let's just see what happens when we try to put the lid on top here. See if that really keeps it in good shape. Yeah, I'd say it works out pretty good. A little bit wacky, but not too bad. Alright, so that's all that, and then it comes with this belt. And the old one can't belt. Oops, my little thing is sliding out here. Yeah, so there's a place or two we could probably use some set screws to help keep things in position. If I had a wish for this little kit, that would certainly be one of the wishes. Let's see how many belts they gave us here. Well, looks like we got two, so one in the backup. That's nice. Let's bring the steam engine itself back. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. Show that in the camera again. So this is going to go onto here. And it's really big. So we're going to be able to pull this a little ways away. Might need to make a little block just to put in between them there, just to make sure it can keep its tension. I mean, that's what makes sense to me. Let me just spin it over and see what it does. Yeah, it seems like it's holding in place pretty good. But that's my guess, is I wanting to make a little block of some kind just to make sure that it doesn't move on me. But let's see if we're enough to generate power here. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. That's alright. It's not supposed to be human powered anyway. It's supposed to be steam powered. Alright, so the only thing left to do here is to test everything. Get all fired up, get that boiler a-boiling, and hopefully the steam engine is steaming. And we'll of course do a lot of that on camera for us here. Alright, thanks for watching for Sloan's Reviews. Stay tuned. And thank you very much for watching Sloan's Reviews channel, and please like and subscribe. Please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have a camera that could use a little help, and for $3 a month you get ad-free access to our videos, and that $3 can help you decide what to love making next. Thanks a lot.